Hey Mina, are you live right now, party? Let's see stream real quick. Yeah, you're live on stream, I think. Okay, well, I don't know what the performance is, but I'm ready to go. Let's.
All right.
Are you streaming, Mina?
Yeah, we're live right now.
Nice. Well, hello.
Hello.
This one may be more casual.
That's fine. The draft is going on right now.
Three bands towards Mazed Mecca. They are terrified. Raylian Sol ban, better safe than sorry. What will they first pick? Annie! Probably going mid lane.
Can't
I
see a
don't.
surprise with that one. It's really good right now, and it's a flex.
Yeah. A theoretical flex. I don't think I've seen Wired play a lot of Annie. Not that it's hard to pick up, but. Seraphine. Could be support, could be in the bot lane like we ran this week. I think the Renata is probably a good band too. Wired has shown his proficiency with the pick.
Also, Caribou plays a large amount of engaged junglers, so Renata's a really good counter to that.
And early Pike as well.
That's an interesting one. Early Pike and no Elena.
I mean, I think it's pretty good into Wired's champion pool as well. Of course, if the Pike lane doesn't go your way, Pike feels pretty useless for the rest of the game, but.
Already getting rid of the flex with that Bard pick. That's interesting.
Bard. I don't think it was ever really that flexible. It's a theoretical flex for sure. It's a shame that Syndra's banned. I think Syndra would be like god tier pick here. And a Veigar.
Yeah, I don't love this Veigar pick into longer range poke, and he's very susceptible to Bard ults.
Well, at the same time, there's not a ton of long range poke. Like it's just the Varus, and we have to assume that the Varus would be going poke Varus in that case instead
Yeah,
of attack damage.
unless I pick like double beefy frontline here. I don't see any reason why you wouldn't go poke though.
That is also fair. But I don't know. You had to pick a mid lane there, and they had already banned out 3 champions from his pool that could be comfort lock there.
Yeah,
I think the
was
Syndra
full.
is probably the most impactful ban, other than, well, Vel'Koz obviously, but
I don't know who's full the best, but I would have loved to see an Ari or an Azir there.
I know he plays Ahri. I don't think he plays Azir. But I would like to see like an aggro jungle pick, but Caribou will probably lock that in regardless. Probably gonna be a jungle pick here on red 4 and top being held for 5th.
Kindred ban is really good. A lot of setup from the Annie would be very easy to get Kindred snowballing early.
I think Mayan played it in a previous week as well.
Yep.
Kale pick, just taking away some scaling options if you are a Kale. And a Viego lock-in. I like it. I like it a lot.
I do as well, yep. Lots of CC and engage, pick potential to get him snowballing in team fights.
They don't really have a way to deal with the Viego other than an Annie stun. I guess they have Verisult as well, so they have a couple of ways to deal with it, but they're both squishy, so if they're caught already by the CC, they're gonna have a really hard time. I'm trying to remember who is THD's top laner.
It is 2 hands.
2 hands. Already thinking about what he may want into that Scion. Jarvan being locked in.
You know, Cho'Gath is a counter, Trundle's a counter.
I mean, that now the Veigar pick looks a lot better.
Yeah, true. Wait, it's gonna be Veigar top? Wait, no.
Oh, no way.
Okay, yeah,
It's
Cho'Gath is
probably
what I
2
would have seen.
hands
That's what I would
with
have
the
picked as well.
Lucian top. Okay, Cho'Gath. Yep, that feels a lot better. Stream delay.
Alright, so which comp do you think has the advantage?
THD, 100%.
I think so as well.
Because the Veigar didn't look that good when it was picked initially, but, you know, then the Scion Jarvan gets locked into it, and it feels a lot better all of a sudden.
I do think they drafted a lot of AP, so if somehow Cyan does manage to get out of the lane ahead, he could be really hard to kill.
Yeah, but also Jarvan ganking for the Scion lane instead of ganking for the Bard Varus Seraphine Pike
Yeah.
bot lane will feel kind of bad. How
It's
do
gonna
I
be up to
make
Mikalis
a
to win on his own.
bet?
Mikalis.
It's okay, I'll Google it. How to make Twitch bet.
I think you have to be a mod in the
Yeah, I am. There we go. Bet is online.
Alright, looks like both teams are ready to go, so we should be starting soon.
questions my ability. Full fall. You overstep. I see you lack judgment.
I'll be right back. We have a few minutes.
Oh, interesting thing I just noted. The AD carry is playing Pike. The support is playing Seraphine. I wonder who's going to be farming. It is Asian problems on the Seraphine, and she played mid last season, so she definitely has experience CSing, so I'm going to assume it's a Seraphine.
Am I able to spectate them yet? No.
30-second delay still.
Doesn't let me hop in until the spectator delay is over. I'm in. Is it going for you as well?
Yeah, it's starting. Just gotta make sure it's showing up properly on the stream.
Can you read off what time you're at?
Said,
Oh, early invade. THD.
I am at 40, 41, 42.
Okay. Speed up a bit. 3, 4, 5.
I'm still like 3 seconds ahead of you, give or take. I can slow down.
Yeah, just a bit. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
We're at the same speed.
Cool. Alright. We do need to close the predictions. How do I do this? Slash prediction and submissions. Alright. So getting into game. Do you want to hit all that good stuff? Oh, Control Shift Z, zoom out. In for mob timers.
Oh gosh, I don't know how to do that.
In as in night.
That's mob timers?
Objective timers, rather.
Oh, my map is too large. Hang on.
Looks like there was a top lane kerfuffle pretty early as well. Two hands getting chunked, so top laners just beating on each other. Scion early advantage, maybe was sitting in a bush. Got a fully charged Q off. And an auto. Early 2v2 push going to the side of red bullies. Gonna make this lane feel a little bit safer for the Varus Bard. But Bike Seraphine gonna be able to get the wave, hit level 2, and get back into it. Actually, early aggression. Power Core getting rooted under tower. Has to blow both summoners to get out of that. Good early lead to the THD bot lane. So as though we're seeing pretty opposite clears from both junglers. Ended up on opposite sides of the map. Mayan potentially looking for something here in the mid lane. Keeping an eye out there.
Oh, Caribou is a really good gang timer on
Gank from the
lane.
top lane. Yep, this is gonna feel pretty good for two hands. Mikalis almost definitely gonna blow flash, but nope, gonna hold on to it because he is certainly dead either way. We'll get some more of these minions before departing this realm. Two hands, oh my god. Maybe biting off a little more than he could chew, especially now that Scion's gonna teleport straight back to lane. The Cho'Gath may not be able to finish pushing it out. Or Mikalis actually opting to walk and save the TP, maybe for something else.
Wait, what's your game time? I think you're a little bit behind still.
1, 2, 3.
Oh yeah, I'm still like 5 seconds ahead.
What the heck? Maybe I just need to zoom up. 12, 13, 14.
Okay, yeah, now we're at the same.
Bard gank. Seraphine gets knocked up and stunned. Gonna be an early kill going over to the Mayan, assisting with the Red Bullies bot lane. Good Bard portal. Surprised the Seraphine. Opted not to blow the flash early, which may have been the best outcome there. Because if any of that lands, you are certainly dead. But teleport will get you back to lane safe and sound, and Varus does not have the teleport. Mayan potentially looking for a regank because they smell blood in the water. And actually gonna get out with no harm, no foul. Feeling pretty good.
Kalis is actually doing really well these trades despite the early kill.
Yeah, I think Cho'Gath is gonna start feeling more like a champion once he gets level 6 and a first item. That's when that matchup probably really starts to go towards the side of the Cho'Gath, I would imagine. Sion has some kinda crazy base stats, if I recall correctly. Just having a chill game here. Both top laners with flashes still. I don't think anybody should die, at least until level 6 gets hit. Wired this is discovered in the mid lane. Maze Mecha actually taking the worst of that side of the trade. Wired getting CC chained and going straight down without even having an opportunity to flash. Kill for Maze Mecha, gonna feel really good here in this early game. One of those classic cases of who is ganking who. Now the junglers are getting in on the mid lane skirmish a little bit. Tactical Gazelle gonna be able to slip out of there as a slippery pike with the undertow.
Man is putting in a lot of work. He's already down 3 camps, which is actually a pretty big deal at this point.
Wired actually using Spellbook to get over towards the turret, early TP.
Red fully starting up the dragon. Adam unable to contest because it's on the opposite side of the map, but he's looking to trade something top lane.
I don't think they know that they're on it, so unless they can sniff it out, it's going to be pretty much for free. The Scion should have his ultimate ability to get out if he needs to. Caribou opting to not invade the blue side jungle with that information that the Jarvan is on the Draken. I mean, the Veigar pick feeling pretty good here. You have a kill, so that pretty much makes up for the CS lead, and a little extra as well. I don't think anything's going to happen here in the top lane. Scion ulti being used to ignore any crowd control chain that the side of THD would have been able to put out there. I would have maybe liked to see a little bit more Viego presence here in the bot lane. Just because, you know, Pyke has a really good setup for these kinds of things, but as long as they play their fights well, it should not make a huge difference.
I would much rather see the Pyke roaming towards mid lane and then looking to 3-man the Annie. It's a lot easier to punish that, being able to come from multiple sides, and Bard having portal to get them with safety bot lane.
Yeah, you do have to be a little bit creative. I actually really hate playing into Pyke as Bard, just because you place your portal and then the hook immediately comes out.
Oh, another gank bot lane here. Nice job by Pyke avoiding it, using the minions to block any CC that might have come out.
And that's also part of why I hate playing into Pyke as Bard. He can be as far up in the lane as he wants, but if you can't see him when that camouflage comes out... I'm a little bit torn on if I wanted to see the Pyke roam a little bit more, because both of these lane matchups are kind of hard to influence. The one exception being when the Veigar was very low mana, and we saw that support roam happening in the mid lane. Ended up being a kill for the Veigar, but... Oh, throwing the hook not towards the portal. Who is gonna be going down here? lots of ultimates being blown. I suspect it will be Caribou dying here, but not quite. The anti-stun does not come out because Caribou is able to flash out Mayan, flag and dragging forward. The Pike may be the one that's caught here, right? Decadonu flashing forward, able to pick up a kill. Pike gonna try to get his ultimate off, but he will not be able to. Maze Mecha placing his cage, but nothing else coming to the side of THD on the backside of that play. Just ends up being a clean kill to the Annie and the Jarvan. Important that the play went their way as well there, because if Annie had died, or the Jarvan, probably going to see a Herald dropped and some extra plates going over to this Veigar. At present, though, they don't really have a good opportunity to do it, at least until this dragon spawns. Two Hands chasing down Mikalis, perhaps not thinking that he needs to use his ultimate to get out soon. Flashes out, and that will save him this one day. Jarvan looking topside, smelling blood in the water. Makes his presence known. Two Hands does have flash to get out of the flag and drag if necessary. Will blow it. Sion's ult comes out as well. Perhaps needed to be used at a different time than the flag and drag, but Two Hands ending up none the worse here, other than the Bard showing up, and he will be knocked up and likely taken down here. He will be back up with teleport before this dragon spawns, so perhaps able to get to the mid lane if necessary. Mikalis probably needs to recall and head to the dragon about now, certainly. I'm gonna opt to kill this minion wave first, and perhaps Two Hands will end up being first to the dragon, or will opt to walk top lane and then teleport if needed to the mid turret. We'll have to see where he comes at a base. Ends up teleporting straight to the top side, so it will be perhaps a 4v4 here at the drag. Mayan may be caught early. The CC chain will come out, and the flag and drag will not save him. That will be a big lead in this fight, or perhaps no fight to come. Free Dragon coming out to the side of Trueheart Destiny. Maze Mecha going to retreat and instead go and get the mid push. Vision Cone will make sure that Annie is not lurking around a corner. Varus Q may be held for just a little too long. Smite comes out, and easy secure for the side of Caribou and Trueheart Destiny. So the map makes dragons 1 and 1 apiece. Inferno map gonna come out. Inferno map kind of feels bad to me as a Bard player, from the Bard perspective, because you have fewer walls to try and stun against, fewer walls to E through.
Very good CS from the side of Riot Decadonu. Almost 10 CS a minute.
Yeah, reclaiming that lead there in the mid lane with the kill back onto Caribou earlier. THD not falling for the same trick there in the bot lane a third time. Opting to back up before Bard can portal through. It's really hard to tell who's winning these top fights because, like, one of them has a huge execute. If that Q had landed, it could have been a kill there. Potentially.
There's that pull interaction you were talking about with Pike and Bard.
Caribou trapped here, has to ult out. Anti-stun will follow him though. He's trapped in his own jungle, will be taken down.
Mid-jungle combo of Mayan and Riot Decadonu is really taking over the map right now. THD needs to find a way to either mediate that or make cross.
I mean, they're just kind of not playing together quite yet. Not enough vision at the entrances to their jungle either. You may have wanted to see the bot lane be present at mid or the Herald before it spawned, but just kind of following the tempo that RB is setting. Fortunately for the side of True Heart Destiny, those kills are primarily on the Jarvan, who does not scale the best of any jungler in the game, but is not a pushover either. You expect him to fall off usually around the 3-item mark. Correct me if that is incorrect, Mina.
It depends what he builds. He can go Bruiser, because right now the Gore Drinker Black Cleaver combo is really, really strong. It's gonna help the Bear Shred, especially since he's going on hit. So each auto's gonna just do that much more, so I think
Got
he's really
it.
useful at all points
Let
this
me
game.
delay it a little bit more. What do you think about relative to the Viego, though?
Well, Viego's going shield mode, so he's gonna be squishier than I would have actually played this game.
Who is catching who? Flashes forward. I don't know that they can assassinate that quite in time. The Veigar ult is what ends up executing Riot Decadonu there, but we'll get a kill back on the backside because the Pyke was tanking turret. Mine EQing forward, thinking better of using his ultimate ability there. And ends up being caught here. But again, who is catching who? Huge chunk onto Maze Mecha, both Maze Mecha and Mayan trying to get out of the fight. Viego ults forward, but Wired will flash out. Flash over the wall! Just barely gets himself out. Not able to get any kills here. Mikalis ulting in. Will he be able to catch anyone here? EQ forward. That is another kill going over to the side of the Jarvan. And you have to think as Red Bullies, they are pretty happy with how this play ended up going. It's only so long before that EQ comes up one more time and a kill goes over. Actually to the Varus, which is much better than another kill on the Jarvan, certainly. Spread that wealth around.
And that's huge because it came right before Dragons, so now they're gonna have a huge wallet difference to fight
Yeah,
this with.
which team do you think is better with the majority of these ultimates down?
With the ultimates down, I like the red side more, because they have more sustain with the Seraphine. They also have cage for zone control. But at the same time, the cooldowns are really relatively
Yeah, and
low.
Viego's going to be able to reset too. I mean, I don't think blue side ultimates are going to come up other than this Bard one, because the Dragon is already up.
Yeah, but it's really hard for red team to force
I
it.
would much rather see two hands down here helping to start this Dragon and just leave Scion to hit the top turret. It doesn't make a big difference there in the game.
There's their Spartle.
EQ. Flag and Drag actually opts to be held, just going to see if they can execute this Seraphine. And Mikalis there with the early teleport ends up being able to be the aggressor here. Pyke stunned. Caribou is way caught right now. Doesn't have his ultimate available to get out, even though it looked to be near available. Otherwise he certainly would have used it. The Bard ultimate coming up early is definitely what won Red Bullies the fight there. I expect they won't be able to get any more kills off the backside of that play, but perhaps this mid-prio can net them a turret depending on how quickly THD can get back into formation. Maze Mecha may be going down. Has to use the stopwatch early, but he is still in trouble. Caribou trying to make something happen here on the backside of this play, but the Bard stun comes out, and I don't know that they'll be able to extend this any further. Pyke Q will be cast, but won't get anything of value.
Red Bullies are in a commanding spot, but at the same time they're on a clock with the Vagar on the other side. If they somehow start turning the game over and start stacking Infernal Dragons, that Vagar is going to be a huge problem.
Cho'Gaths should start winning this top matchup here pretty handily as well, with the Heartsteel versus just a Sunfire cape. You'd think that before too long you're actually going to see a solo kill come out. I'm a little bit nervous leaving a Seraphine in the mid lane by their lonesome, but should be relatively safe here. Maybe the Pike is making a play. Hook goes wide. Not quite able to make anything happen there onto the Varus. I don't know that they have the damage for it. The shield bow pops off, but that is certainly not enough. Flash forward onto Mazed Mecha, and that will be another kill to the side. Ultimately, if you try to make it happen just a little too hard, that's the type of thing that can happen, because it's always knife's edge when you're playing Pike. You're one little mechanical misplay away from inting your face off versus making the best play on God's green earth. Red Bullies will be starting the Baron here. I don't know that THD will be able to sniff it out in time. Right, Decadonu holding his flash, but oh, Cho'Gath is in the pit. They have made a grave error. That it may be their angle that they need to get back into the game, right? Decadonu gonna be damaged so much and will go down to the Cho'Gath. This is a messy, scrappy fight. The Viego is already dead, unfortunately, but Two Hands will still be running around trying to pick up as many kills as possible. Tactical Gazelle running for his life. Two Hands flashing out from the potential chain CC that could come out. Seraphine Root may get the Seraphine out. Depends on if Bard passive can come back up and slower. But she is able to get out at the end of that play. And that is the kind of scrappy fight that you definitely wanted if you are a True Heart Destiny fan.
And the fact that they got that Baron means they can stall the game out for an extra 6
Oh,
minutes.
it is absolutely huge. You don't know that. I don't know that even if they wanted to, they can really kill this Cho'Gath.
6 more minutes of farming for Vagar, 6 more minutes of items on Seraphine. It's massive.
I don't know that the Varus, even with his kills, will be able to do a lot this game, unless just some really good CC comes out. Because if the Vagar or the Cho'Gath is allowed to get onto this Varus, he's gonna have a really hard time living, or even being in range to do anything in these fights, I think. Infernal Drake coming up next, right? Decadonu able to get a clean ultimate out. Just barely, Tactical Gazelle barely able to get out on the backside of that play. Pike passive on his W will heal him back to near full HP. We'll be able to get a little bit more vision, but poking his head back in, Undertow will get him out. But right, Decadonu potentially caught here on the side. He does not have flash to get himself out. This will be a free kill for Caribou to begin resetting here. Resets onto Mayan. I'm keeping an eye on the Viego. He is able to get this kill onto the Jarvan. This is definitely a great fight for the side of True Heart Destiny. Their comp actually fully coming online with the Viego resets able to happen.
And that 5k gold lead we saw just 3 minutes ago has disappeared. They're even at Dragons. Well, they should be even at Dragons unless Power Core makes a steal.
Nope, not gonna happen, unfortunately, for the side of Red Bullies. I mean, I didn't dislike their attempt on the Baron, but they definitely needed to make sure, be a little bit more cautious about the Cho'Gath. The fact that the Cho'Gath was there in the right place at the right time, you can call it bad luck, but you know, that was one of two ways that they lose that play. I'm not really sure how I feel about the new ward pings, like showing permanently on the minimap. Tactical Gazelle will be knocked up, but Mayan may be the one who's actually caught here, has to flash out. Bard ultimate used in order to disengage from the play. I don't know that the Scion will take too much damage there. Next objective on the map is a Baron in 2 minutes, so we have quite a lot of time to play around with map rotations, placing some vision, maybe seeing if you can pick up some tier 1 turrets here in the top lane.
That's a very good heads up play by Powercore, seeing 5 mid, and he gets a free tower bot lane.
I certainly agree. Is Mecha able to get the wave pushing? 2 hands on the bot side without a teleport. If Red Bullies is keeping track of the teleport timers, then they will know that, because it's timed roughly the same as Mikalis from that last dragon fight. I thought they might be setting up to try and catch Maze Mecha there in the top lane, but just gonna clear waves and try and hold positions. Mina, have you... Oh, Caribou may be caught here. The Varus ulti goes wide, and he is maybe able to get himself out. Uses the shield bow, heals as much as possible. Seraphine ulti comes out, hits only the Scion and the blue buff. Cho'Gath coming here on the flank, but his Q is down for a little bit longer. Power Core, there's a stunned. There has to use Flash and Cleanse, triple stun coming out from the Pike, but he will just be eliminated there in the backline, as Riot Decadonu is able to place his Tibbers and wreck house for True Heart Destiny. 2 hands having to flash out, and it is just 2 members remaining. What will they be able to take off of the backside of that play? I don't know that they can start any objectives given how chunked they are, but maybe if Mazed Mecha ends up being caught, is able to drop the baby cage, maybe able to execute Mr. Wired, and is able to get out on the backside of that play. Just barely able to make something good of getting caught there. There will be a turret going to the side of Red Bullies, but with all of THD coming back up, I'm a little bit worried of what happens at the Baron area. And we'll check Veigar's ability power. Veigar is currently at 496. This is a mixed elo. We got some diamond players and going all the way down to bronze, I believe. So mixed teams, but they are roughly even skill on both. This is going to be a battle here for vision control, but 2 hands is actually a lot closer to the fight this time. Maze Mecha coming in with the baby cage if need be. Flashes forward because he knows that the Varus does not have any summoner spells. The huge ultimate coming out from the side of Riot Decadonu. The fight is going crazy. The Caribou trying to get just a 1 reset is not quite able to get it. He is not invulnerable when he is channeling that. The Scion doing a lot of work. Maze Mecha will be going down as well. I think that Annual was integral to Red Bullies being able to win this fight. They may be able to take the Baron here on the backside of it if Annie has enough damage for it. The death timers are certainly enough that you think you're good to take it, but maybe you lose the dragon on the backside. And this is certainly the slowest Baron take at 30 minutes you will ever see. Annie with the Roa build and Gore Drinker Black Cleaver build on the Jarvan. THD will be running straight to this dragon to try and set up control. Maybe trade something on the backside of the play. Ultimate abilities that will be up for this fight. It looks like Tibbers has fully reset and come back online. That is a very important cooldown. Viego ult may be important as well. Seraphine ult coming up shortly. But THD, the Drake is already at 3000 HP. You're thinking that you should be totally fine. Two Hands a little bit sad that he didn't get there quick enough to get another stack on his feast. But still, you're feeling pretty good with 3 drags on the side of True Heart Destiny. I could see either team winning the game at this point. And just with that additional Infernal Drake and another needlessly large rod, that Veigar is sitting now at 624 AP. More than 100 more than when we last checked in. They will not be able to abuse that Varus flash cooldown like they were at the Baron fight. The Varus getting bursted there was pretty important for the beginning of the fight to go the way that it did. Mine opting not to trade ultimates with Caribou, as that would likely have been the outcome of that play. Thinking his may be a little bit more valuable for setting up these fights. Even just being able to reposition himself during those fights can be pretty important, given how much damage and utility the Jarvan provides in a fight. True Heart Destiny very split here on the map. Seraphine pushed on the top lane. Varus ulti comes out, does not end up hitting anything. Caribou tossing out an emote to show that he saw it. You have to think that they will at least get one turret here from this Baron. But THD doing a great job of just turtling up. It's very hard to get past this Cho'Gath at this point in the game. Who do you think has more HP? Is it the Scion or the Cho'Gath?
Oh, it's definitely the Cho'Gath with Heartsteel stacks. Grasp of the Undying as well, yep, there's no way.
Yep. 6.3k health versus 4k. Or 4.1, I suppose.
And he has the Seraphine heals on top of it.
Annie definitely looking for an angle here. May opt to use the Blast Cone or may just flash directly over the wall if he sees an angle to engage. Patience is the name of the game though. You don't want to force a play and have it go poorly. Look for your perfect engage angle. Think being tossed over the wall before they step up, being aware that they do not see the Annie at this point in time. Does opt to clear that bot wave. Mayan going to tank up a couple of abilities, but THD not wanting to leave their base too much, given that they know very little about the territory outside. Yeah. What were the changes to Jarvan, do you recall, Mina? They buffed his W, made it scale with AD. Scion taking some damage,
It's
but...
basically just that. They also nerfed it again because it was so strong, but he's still in a
Did
good
they
spot.
hotfix it?
Yep.
Oh, they
So,
hotfixed it, okay. Yeah, I think Jarvan had been a little bit of a sleeper pick for a little bit, and the W buff just kind of reminded everybody that he's there. Right, we'll do a lot of those little changes when they want to reintroduce champions that they think are already strong into the meta.
The main thing I'm looking at is Dragon 1 minute. Even if Red Bullies gets it, they don't get sold till 40 minutes, and I don't see how they break the base without that. By the time 40 minutes rolls around, that Veigar is going to have close to 1000 AP.
I'm also looking if the side of Red Bullies has any healing reduction, because that Viego has a Bloodthirster in lieu of a Bork. This Drake will may be the fight that breaks open the game for either team at this point. Two Hands going to be pushing top lane, getting that wave into position. Hopefully THD will not get caught here at the beginning of this play. Just going to chunk the Jarvan a little bit, but he's not feeling too bad, having taken just a little bit of damage. They have the Scion there with them. Who is catching who? Maze Mecha able to flash out. Tactical Gazelle doing the exact same, but the Viego is getting immediately caught here. Seraphine ulti comes out, has to flash out. Red Bull is trying to extend this play as much as possible, but they can't really get past the cage. Riot Decadonu, however, will be able to flash directly over the wall. Mikhail's comes out, gives him a little HP buff, but in terms of this fight, it is Red Bullies pushing forward with their initial engage, taking advantage of the fact that Two Hands was showing on the top side and could not get to the play very quickly. Caribou being caught very off sides, but like you said, Red Bullies may need the soul in order to break the base, or at the very least a very good fight. That Anti-Flash will not be available for the next, for their base push, which will likely come after they try and take this Baron here, while Maze Mecha is still dead. Rabadon's coming out for Annie. She is sitting at a pretty 623 AP at this point. Veigar having a bit more because of his passive. Will teleport into the play. Caribou stunned, Scion ulting forward. That is a very good engage from the side of Red Bullies. Viego trying to get out here on the backside. Pyke ultimate comes out. Viego will go down before being able to get the initial reset. Bard ultimate comes out, and two people caught there on the side of Trueheart Destiny. These fights are just coming up heads repeatedly for Red Bullies because they are the ones pulling the trigger. They are having an easier time doing that. We'll be able to take the Baron here on the backside of the play. They do have a lot of trouble sieging, though. So we'll have to see if this Baron push yields anything better for them. Still a chance for THD to win the game when this next Drake comes up in about 3 minutes. Anti-Flash being roughly the same time, well, coming up a little bit sooner.
I'm surprised Maze Mecha isn't buying a Void Staff here with all the MR stacking on the other side.
Opting instead just to stack some AP.
Yeah, it looks like Shadow Flame.
We'll probably see a quiet couple of minutes, maybe cast a curse, but neither team wants to get caught at this point, and that be how they lose the game. Or throw it.
You do see a GA on the Jarvan now, so he might look for something more aggressive. You could potentially even see a dive.
Wired's comfort on this Bard pick is definitely showing in this fight. Varus ulti comes out. I don't know that they will be able to do too much here. THD rotating in response to seeing the play starting. Bard ultimate and Varus ultimate used, but they should be back up before this next dragon. Gargoyles ends up being popped. That is a relatively important cooldown for the Cho'Gath. And they may actually finally break the base here in the mid lane. 1 minute until this Infernal Drake comes up. Mayan hiding just out of vision because he knows that if he is able to land a good engage, that may just be the game. Often just to fight with Caribou a little bit. Riot Decadonu actually fully flashing forward to land a Tibbers onto 3, but I was worried for a moment that the follow-up may not be there, but they were able to get there in time. Maybe they just looked to end the game, but if they end up dying to 1 by 1 here, Mayan has GA. Tactical Gazelle having not realized that. Looks like they will be able to end the game right here. Very back and forth game. No soul taken by either team. Ends up being Red Bullies in the driver's seat with their engage coming out from the Bard, the Annie, and the Bard ultimates. And the Jarvan. I think I said Bard twice. Certainly a good game to all. Yeah, I will see who has not been interviewed yet.
Annie putting in work this game. Varus number's very high. He got to wail on the Cho'Gath a lot. Yep, that's to be expected. Oh wait, the screen's all black. Hold on. There we go. Wow, almost double the vision score from junglers.
I have pulled back the victorious jungler, showing a class performance on Jarvan the Fourth. Mr. Mayan, congrats on your victory. How are you feeling coming out of it?
We finally broke our loss streak, so pretty good. Finally had an early game that we didn't completely throw away. No big unlucky fights. It all went pretty well.
Yeah, you guys seem to be in the driver's seat for a lot of that game. The side of True Heart Destiny lacking a lot of engage definitely showed, as you guys were able to pull the trigger pretty well when they were anywhere outside of their base.
Yeah, they locked Vagar, so they didn't have a lot of roam potential from mid lane, and then Seraphine Pike also didn't have a lot of lane pressure, so I was kind of free to roam wherever I wanted.
Yeah, and you were able to take over the map pretty early. You ended up having some issues with that initial Baron play. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, that was we just weren't respecting the Cho'Gath Feast and Viego Smite too well, so we burned the Baron a little too low before trying to turn. We were a little split on whether to turn or not to turn as well.
Yep, just
Yeah,
one of
we
those
weren't ready.
hiccups to work out. I'm sure if you run that play back the second time, you probably win it handily. What did you think about the draft? Did it go the way that you guys wanted, roughly? Because you had the Annie first pick, that was definitely planned.
Yeah, we were kind of surprised by the Renata pick, and then even more when they locked in Seraphine Pike. But I think the draft kind of gave us what we want, minus the Aurelion Soul. Please don't ban it next week.
Well, you guys are blue side, we're red
Yep.
side, so I doubt we'll be giving it over, but we will have to see if we can develop some kind of fun counter pick for it. How do you know how the Varus Bard felt into that bot matchup?
I
Seemed
think it
pretty
was
quiet down
going.
there, other than
It
when you
was
showed
going
up.
pretty fine. Playing with Bard is really nice because we can just cheese ganks through walls, so that caught them
Yeah,
off guard early.
able to pull it
Uh,
off a couple of times before they became wiser to it.
yeah, I think. Yeah, I don't think they have enough poke to poke the Varus Bard out of lane. But the Varus Bard, I don't think can even really kill them solo. So it's just kind of a farm lane until junglers showed up.
Yeah. Well, you have one more game to play this season going into next week. Tell me about all of your strategies going into the deep dive game.
We're going to insta-lock Asol and
Uh-huh.
slide Averion some money so he doesn't ban it.
Wait, can you slow down a bit? I'm trying to write this down.
Okay, we're gonna bribe your top laner so that he doesn't
Okay.
ban Aurelion
Hello, are we
Silk.
streaming?
Yes, we are.
Oh. What's
Do you have any
up?
questions?
Hello. Victorious Jungler Mayan. Congrats on your win. I don't know that I have any more questions unless Mina does. All right. Any shout outs, Mayan?
Shout out to our sub, played really well that game. Shout out to the rest of my team, really pulled through. I was just kind of their tool to send wherever they wanted.
Well, that will do us tonight here at the Bubble Tea League. Have a wonderful night, everyone. It looks like our next game will be. I had the tab pulled up. Schedule. Today is the 6th, so our next game will be on the 8th in 2 days on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific time. Panic in Our Oceans versus Second Breakfast. Be there or be square. Actually, it will be at 7 Pacific. Looks like we have TSC and AR right before that. Have a wonderful night, everyone. Bye-bye.